Levin. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez in New York City yesterday. She is a media creation. She's a manufactured leader. And they treat her like veal, Mr. Producer. Now, what do I mean by that? They will not allow her to get in the same room, sit in a chair, and face off against the likes of me. Against the likes of me. Cut 8, go. Hello?
The part of it that is generational is that millennials and people and, Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
All right, stop right there. Now, the world is not going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. How many doofuses have told us that by now the world was going to end? So, folks, hurry up. Abandon capitalism. Hurry up. Accept 70% marginal top rates. Hurry up. Accept big centralized government. Hurry up. Abandon your own home. Abandon everything you have. Abandon your ideas. Abandon the founding. Hurry up. The world's going to end in 12 years. This is an idiot, an absolute certifiable moron. If we don't address climate change, it's going to end in 12 years. Well, tell me, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and everybody's now calling her AOC. Isn't that clever? Like, RG3. Well, that didn't work out. AOC. AOC. Hey, you know what? I like that, Mr. Producer. AOC. AOC. For now on, it's AOC. Because AOC, you see, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to being a democratic socialist, in addition to never working even a cash register anywhere, ever hiring even a part-time employee, AOC is now an expert on climate change. How do I know this? Because Chuck Todd's now an expert on climate change. He doesn't have any experience, any background, any education in this area, but he has dictated that that's that. Despite all the scientists who say, no, it's not. Yes, he is. Yes, it is. And so AOC has decided that climate change will destroy the earth in 12 years. Now, I have a sad point to make to her. The climate always changes. So I guess we're going to end in 12 years. Whether man exists or not, the climate changes. No, you don't understand. It's man-made climate change. Man-made. Now, even if that were the case, which it's not, what are we going to do with China and India and all the other countries, which actually creates far more CO2? What are we going to do about them? I mean, they're not going to listen to you, even if some morons in our country, particularly in the media, listen to you. They're not going to listen to you. Anyway, this is our biggest issue. Go ahead.
Your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II. And
this is World War II? You mean with Nazi Germany? Is it like World War II? Or when we were attacked at Pearl Harbor by Imperial Japan? This is like World War II, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure all you World War II vets, and we're very proud of you, and there aren't enough of you left, quite frankly. I'm sure you find this very persuasive. This is like World War II. It's like the Battle of the Bulge, the Battle of Iwo Jima, Guam, Guadalcanal. Oh, yeah, North Africa, Italy. It's like World War II, ladies and gentlemen. This sanctimonious, spoiled brat. Climate change is our World War II. And she is celebrated. It is appalling to me. Go ahead.
I think for younger people, we're looking at this and we're like, how
and she does not represent all younger people. Last time I checked, she was elected in a heavily Democrat Latino district in New York City. Is that correct, Mr. Producer? So how does she represent all younger people? When did that happen? Are all younger people as nitwitted as she is? No. I know a lot of younger people who aren't. Many of them serve in the military. But now she speaks for all younger people. She's an expert on climate change and economic matters and tax matters generally. 29 years old. I don't hold that against her. No experience in anything at any time for anything. But knows how to do everything. That's all it takes to be a leftist. Imagine if I were a leftist. I could run for president and win, couldn't I, Mr. Producer? Just spew all the stupid sayings. Go ahead.
Let's take it easy when 3,000 Americans died last year. How are we saying let's take it easy?
3,000 Americans died from what last year? Climate change? Who came up with that bogus statistic? What the hell does that mean? Go ahead.
Person has just died from our cruel and unjust criminal justice system.
What? How do you swing from climate change to our cruel and unjust criminal justice system? I would like to ask her, who exactly are you talking about? Which judge, which jury, which prosecutor, which defense counsel, which defendant? Who are you talking about? It must be systemic, so you must have 1,000, no, 10,000 examples. Nitwit, I got to stop this or I'll never get her on the show. I don't think I ever will anyway. Bernie Sanders won't come on, no. One more. Hang tough, folks. Cut 9, go.
And when we tell the stories of the mistakes we have made in the past, you know, economically speaking, when we talk about the issue of, say, reparations, people think, you know, people think about reparations as reparations for slavery. But really, economically speaking, reparations are for the damage done by the New Deal and redlining.
Whoa. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we need reparations for the New Deal and redlining. All of you folks involved in the New Deal and redlining, because in addition to a 70% top marginal rate, and don't kid yourselves, every dollar after 10 million, what do you think is going to happen to every dollar under 10 million with all these proposals? The vast majority of the money in this country is with what we call, using Marxist phrases, because that's the way we work now, the middle class. That's where most of the wealth is. Spread among tens of millions of Americans and American families. None of this stuff works without punishing you. Look at Castro. Look at Maduro. Look over at Xi in China. They have to go after the vast wealth which is held by, in our country, the vast majority of the people, despite all the left-wing kook propaganda. So all the billionaires combined do not have as much money as all of us. They just don't. And so if they really need money, they're going to come for you. They're going to come for property rights. All these things, they break down after a while. Listen to the debate today about the government employees, the government. I started this discussion about 2 weeks ago, didn't I, Mr. Producer, where I said nobody ever talks about the private sector. Nobody ever talks about the people out of work in the private sector. We went on about it at some length. You don't hear them crying over plumbers and carpenters and electricians and taxi driver, anybody else who lose their job, assembly line workers, you name it. No. Government workers. Because they're the army that the Democratic Party has created. Remember, we discussed this at some length. And so here, where do you think they're going to get the reparations from? Reparations is another word for redistribution of wealth. Sorry, nobody deserves reparations. Nobody. How far back are we going to go? To the Jews who were held as slaves in Egypt? How far are we going to do? How much of this are we going to do? We are a free society now, ladies and gentlemen, a free society. Just think about what she's saying. Reparations. Not even related to slavery, which was, I must say, some time ago, but for the New Deal and redlining. Marginal tax rates through the roof. Redistribution of wealth. Eliminate billionaires. She's got quite an agenda. Don't we already have a Castro running, Mr. Producer? Julian Castro, right? Sounds like we have a lot of Castros running. Go ahead.
Because that is where we saw a compounding.
People are clapping. They don't even know what the hell she's talking about. Reparations for the New Deal. What are they talking about? Go ahead.
Of the existing inequity from the legacy of slavery, where we drew red lines around black communities and we said white communities will get home loans and they'll get access to the basic...
You know, for more than half a century, we've had laws in place that make that a crime. A crime. We have an EEOC. We have a civil rights division virtually in every department of the government, but particularly the United States Department of Justice. We have civil rights divisions in every single of the 93 U.S. attorneys' offices. Every state has civil rights prosecutors. We have an FTC, a Federal Trade Commission. We have similar commissions at the state level. If you're aware of redlining and you report it, people are going to be punished over it. So this is BS too. Sorry. Go ahead.
Of wealth in America.
She's just puking up all of the red meat for the left. She's just puking it up, all the red meat for the left. She's memorized these talking points. As she swings from one issue to the next, comes right out of their little red handbook. Go ahead.
This is the thing that you will be able, this will be your heirloom. And we gave white America an heirloom that appreciated over time.
Nobody gave white America anything. I'm sick of this group talk. White Americans are diverse backgrounds. From all over the world, your ancestors. Different religions. Different interests. Individual human beings. All white people aren't the same any more than any other people are the same. Nobody didn't give white people anything. And you all know it. My ancestors came here from Russia to escape pogroms where the Jews were being brutalized in Russia. They had Zippo. Nobody gave them anything. And they were thrilled to be here because of liberty. They didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And they didn't expect anyone to give it to them. They broke their backs. And quite frankly, just like my parents broke their backs and worked hard. Not for the government. No guaranteed anything. They didn't claim to be any kind of a class of citizen that deserved anything. They loved this country. Because of the country's principles and the opportunities that free people have in this country. White people. We're not white people. We're individual people. We're Americans in what's supposed to be a colorblind society. And I'm sick of it.
Mark Levin.